Well, hello, I'm David Holmes on behalf of homely.com.au, and we've been bringing you some great content, some great information, and some of the biggest names in the industry to help you get through the COVID-19 phase. And today I've got an absolute ripper in Damien Cooley, who doesn't need too much of an introduction. But before we get to Damien, just be very, very clear. The information that we're presenting to you at the moment is not only just to help you get through COVID-19, but also well into the future. We've got some amazing tips from guys who are sometimes inaccessible. Damien's always very accessible, but some of the names that are coming forward and having a chat to us at the moment, it's just great to be able to pick their brains and utilize their wealth of experience. So make sure just down below you hit the subscribe button and you get the information and the content as soon as it drops. Damien, welcome to you. Let me give you the introduction that you don't need. Let's be very clear. 5 times block auction winner. You own Cooley Auctions. You own the very topical Auction Now remote auction and online auction platform system, which is great. You're a husband, a father, a fitness fanatic, and judging by your Instagram, mate, a bit of a master chef coming along as well, mate. I don't know where you find time to sleep, but what did you see on the weekend, mate? How does it all look?
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Mate, I do find time to sleep. I enjoy my sleep very much, but yeah, I've got a lot going on, but I also really enjoy having a lot going on. And I think that's one thing that certainly keeps me going. Saturday was good. We had a really good day on the weekend. We only physically called a fraction of what we were actually booked for. But the exciting thing, I think, for the whole online auction world right now is that properties that are going to auction that have interested parties, registered online bidders, they are selling. And I think one of the biggest groups of people that have adapted to this whole online way of selling real estate the most have been the buyers. Consumers are responding incredibly well. They've been active. They've been very willing to participate in the online auction platform. And the results are really speaking for themselves. We had one property 10 days ago that was a property in Potts Point that had 15 online bidders. It had more than 100 online bids. Wow. And it sold for a whopping $408,000 above its reserve price. Interesting thing about that was that there was 142 people that actually tuned in and watched that auction online. So what we're learning as auctioneers is that you might think no one's watching, but you could have anywhere between 50 and a couple of hundred people that have eyeballs on you from all around the world.
Would you have expected a crowd of 142 people at that auction if it was on site?
Well, this was a one-bedroom unit in Potts Point, so they'd have been lucky to fit 15 or 20 of them in that one. But look, I think that's one of the great advantages of what this technology is really showing us that is available to any real estate agent, and that's to have more eyeballs on you. We have one client that's using the platform up in Townsville, and they've got auctions on Tuesday night, the 7th of April. And I was speaking to that agent about their interested parties. They've got some online bidders that are participating. And I was talking to Damien saying that, the exciting thing for a business like his, for example, is that he might have 50 people, 100 people that are tuning in from, again, all around the world that are able to gain some insights into his local marketplace in Townsville, what an investment property looks like in that market, what a potential yield might be for an investor in that market, which often is quite different to what we would expect in a major capital city like Sydney, Melbourne, or even Brisbane. So, for investors, I think that they're going to have a lot more eyeballs on this type of property. And I think for agents, it's giving us more exposure available for more people to be watching. And hopefully that's going to result in more sales down the track.
So could this be an even more pure way to do things, do you think? Just thinking about some of the things you've just said, you've got more eyeballs watching. So a one-bedroom unit in Potts Point, 142 people watching on, and 15 registered bidders, I think you said. So are we actually going to see that this could actually condense or get rid of some of the tire kickers because they're not going to bother turning up to the auction? Would have more eyeballs watching it, so the proliferation of our auction process is going to only get stronger, but we're dealing with an even more qualified buyer who's online?
Look, there is no doubt that the whole online auction platform, running in conjunction with a live performance, has an absolute place moving forward once we get out of this COVID-19 situation. We really feel that the Auction Now platform can run beautifully alongside of the live auction. In my opinion, as an auctioneer, there is no doubt that the auctioneer adds incredible value in person. The value that we add to be able to get somebody to bid, say, $25,000 instead of a $10,000 bid, or even $5,000 instead of a $1,000 bid is great. And we feel that this platform will be absolutely ideal for those people who A, are unable to turn up in person, or B, would prefer to bid from home or watch online. And you are opening your property up to more people. And that may not be for that property, but it might be for the next one or the one after that. And we're giving more exposure to what it is that we do and the value that we add. And I think that that is a really key element, is that you think of it as a real estate agent, you've got a database of people of, 1,000, maybe 5,000, maybe 10,000 people that you might have on a database that you're communicating with regularly. All those people are unable to attend a one-bedroom unit in Potts Point, or unable to attend your auction on Saturday at 10 a.m. But another 50 of them might be able to watch from their mobile phone as they're out doing the shopping. And that's obviously giving you more marketing exposure. It's giving people the opportunity to engage with your brand. And the more engagement, the more marketing that you have, that's only going to be a benefit for you into the future.
Totally agree. We've got to get some of the auctioneers probably a little sharper on their on-screen performances, I think. So that's going to be interesting moving forward. And is it true that it adds 10 kilos, the small screen? I hope not.
Well, I'm actually pretty ringing wet at 63 kilos, so probably an extra 10 for me may not matter. But yes, it's been widely publicised that TV makes you put on a few kilos. So maybe it's time to cut back on the spaghetti and the rice and do a few extra Ks on each morning.
You may have a lot of auctioneers following your fitness regime, mate. Let's have a chat about a few other things there, mate. So what are some of your predictions moving forward from the COVID? We're very focused on auctions, obviously, but moving through this phase, mate, what do you see happening in the coming months? I mean, obviously, there's no crystal ball. I'm not asking you to put a limit on our social distancing regulations or anything like that, but probably more sort of market predictions. Where do you see it moving, and how do you see the progress just after looking at the clearance rates and those sort of things on the weekend?
I think that we always expected April to be a quiet month. We've got Easter, we've got the Anzac Day long weekend. It was our prediction that things were really going to start to heat up kind of mid-May and particularly towards the end of May. I think that might be a little bit slower now, given the fact that we are unable to run a proper open home for inspection like everybody knows it. But I think things will take a bit of time to get used to the new way of selling. There is no doubt that anybody who doesn't need to sell probably won't. I think people who need to sell for births, deaths, marriages, divorces, these scenarios will play out and there'll be transactions that will happen, no question about that. And I think that what the agent needs to understand is that there's a lot of responsibility now on us in the industry to actually educate the public that things can still sell. And I think that education platform really comes from us picking the phone up, speaking to buyers, speaking to sellers, and just giving them the confidence in their ability to come onto the market, and the confidence in the process, the confidence that we have solutions, and the confidence that those people who are wanting to buy and that need to buy are active in the marketplace right now. So whilst we don't expect it to be as busy as what it may have otherwise have been, we do expect transactions still to be taking place. And naturally, as we move into the winter months, the market tends to quieten down anyhow. I think what most people will be doing is gearing up for a very solid spring. And if we're in a position where we're out of the social distancing that we have right now, or that they are relaxed somewhat, then I think that people can expect to have quite a bumper of a spring. And we feel that pent-up demand will certainly come in waves, given the fact that we've got incredibly low interest rates. Buyers will be kept in their homes largely. Those active buyers who are genuine, they really want to buy, they're the ones that are out inspecting properties right now. So I don't think there's been a better time to qualify a buyer than there is right now.
Yeah, agreed. As you said, the buyers are very, very comfortable now with our online process, even seeming more comfortable than the agents almost. So that's interesting. Just around those vendors who are looking to come to the market at the moment, there's no magic dialogue, no magic reason, but maybe what would be some compelling reasons that you would look to, whether that's an auction process? I mean, I would imagine that would probably be the best process around urgency and creating a deadline for them. But those hesitant vendors, what sort of word would you sort of have for them if they were sort of just looking to come to the market over these next coming months?
Market conditions are very easy to answer, very simple to respond to right now. Supply and demand. It all comes back to what's on the market, what's available for buyers, and buyers need to buy. There are people out in the market right now who are actively looking at purchasing property. we don't know how long this is going to go for. The market won't stop and stop for good. It will come back, and it will come back in a big way. The thing about coming back into spring is that we're expecting there to be a lot more property on the market in spring. Now, if there's a lot more property on the market in spring, that could have an effect on demand. As if there's a lot of property on the market and there's good demand, things will transact and they will sell. But I'm a vendor, I'm also thinking about, okay, well, is now actually an opportunistic time to be coming on the market? If I'm not competing against much other property that's on right now, and the same buyer pool is in the market, if I've got a good quality property, my property actually might be very, very well competed for. And I'll give you a perfect example. There was a property that went to auction on the weekend in Lincoln that one of the Auction Now users had, McGrath Estate Agents. And this was a property that had, I think they had 18 registered online bidders. Property sold well above the reserve price. Now, you could easily argue that, well, what are you doing putting your property on the market? It's hard to do inspections. You've got to do this thing that we call online auctions. But the reality is it worked. And people registered and they bid online and it sold above reserve. And they had plenty of interested parties that were prepared to bid and prepared to compete for it. So what we all need to get our heads around, and I think that the agent needs to get their head around this probably more than others, is that properties are selling, there is activity, you can transact real estate, and you can conduct an auction, and you can sell it at an online auction platform. And I think that once we understand this and feel more comfortable about it ourselves, we have the ability to convince others that it's okay to list. And any vendor who's thinking about listing right now, from their point of view, basic supply and demand, there's no reason why you can't be coming onto the market right now and getting a great result for your home.
Fantastic. All right, mate. So if people are wanting to look at the Auction Now system, if they haven't actually implemented an online auction system for their office yet, for Auction Now, do they just jump on the Auction Now website, or how does that?
You can jump on the Auction Now website. There's a basic video on there. Alternatively, you can send me an email and I can get you all the information that you need. My email address is just damien.c@realtair.com. Realtair, REALTAIR.com. And I can send you an information pack which has all the info that you need. And then our support team will be able to get you onboarded. But it's a great platform where buyers can watch, register, bid, buy, and exchange on live online auctions anywhere in the world on any device.
Has it surprised you how quickly our buying public has adapted to this new method? Yeah, and there's a caveat around that, obviously. You were very proactive in this space before we really, really needed it. And when I say really needed it, like for a crisis like a pandemic to come along and force us online. So you were proactive. So the system was very much up and running and probably reasonably seamless then. We've got a lot of people sort of, claiming they can do what yours does now. And I know the years you've spent in development, trying to get this up and running properly. But are you surprised at just how quickly people have adapted to this?
It has been surprising. Well, as you say, we've been using this platform for the last 3 years, and we've been running it alongside our live auctions for the last few years. What I've really noticed is that buyers have been able to understand how to register. And that's because it's a very simple process to register as an online bidder. We do require them to give us more information as an online bidder. We need their solicitor's details. We do take their credit card details. It's only there as a safety net to protect the vendor and protect the agent if in the event they don't pay the relevant deposit. So, they do need to give us more information, but it's that information that gives the owner and the agent security over the online bidder. I think the important thing to understand also is that as an online bidder, we have more protection around that. But two, we're collecting a lot more information from them, from our back-end auction management platform in the Manage Auction tab of Auction Now. Like, we collect a lot of information, but the beauty of that is that it means that we're able to communicate a lot better with our buyers into the future. I think from the agent's point of view, this situation has forced a lot of people to become digital. And it's not just about online auctions, but it's about being a digital agent. That's what I love about the Realtair brand, which is what Auction Now merged with, because we now have the ability to sign agency agreements on glass, exchange contracts on glass, do a full pitch on glass, proposal for an owner, and now Auction Now, and it all talks seamlessly in and amongst these 3 products, and they talk back to the agent's CRM. So it's one platform that does everything for you in the sales transaction. Buyers have adapted, and agents are adapting too.
Good. Mate, just 2 more points I want to cover off. I know you're a busy man. Mate, what do you, inside of isolation, mate, what sort of things are you doing to sort of keep sane? Mate, I know you've got, wife and children, all those sort of things like most of us. So how does that look for you? What do you do? I mean, you're a fitness fanatic and you cook a lot. What else do you do?
Yeah, so look, I run about 100 Ks a week, so I'm doing a fair few kilometres out on the street. Look, it's a bit frustrating. I can't necessarily go to the mountains where I love to run. I do love my cooking. Well, one thing that we're doing this weekend, usually we go on a camping trip over Easter period. We're going to set up camping in the backyard this time. So on Friday night, we're going to camp out in the backyard, and we're going to try and do all the things that we normally would have otherwise have done when we go camping. Look, I'm fortunate. We've got a pretty nice house to be in isolation with. We renovated it back in 2000, and I think it was 2015 or 16. But get out, get active. We're doing things with the kids. We're doing a lot more bike riding.
Yeah.
We go for walks in the afternoon. We try and limit technology. We say to the kids that you're allowed a certain amount of time each day on technology. We've been getting them a lot more active. You know, my daughter, she also likes to cook, so we can try and bake a cake or make biscuits or do things like that. Try and do things that you would have otherwise have not done. I love my running, so I've been watching a few running movies and, read, just try and do things to keep your brain active. And it's also a great time as a real estate agent to actually sit down and plan what your next 5 years look like. I've really been working a lot on, what are my goals in the next month? What are my goals for the rest of this year? What do my goals look like for the next couple of years? And the goals that I like working on the most are what are my life goals? What are the things that I want to achieve in my life? And that's a great exercise to go through with your kids about saying, what are your goals today? What are your goals this year? And what are the things that you want to achieve in your life? And it starts teaching your kids about the importance of setting goals and having dreams and aspirations and how they go about achieving them.
Great insights. Mate, lastly, as an auctioneer, I know you love competition and you understand competition. Homely.com.au has brought competition to the market. We're a low-cost portal. We're in a time where people are watching their pennies very, very closely. We've got a lot of economic devastation. So considering people's money that they're spending on marketing and advertising of their properties, how do you see the Homely offering moving forward and the importance of that in our marketplace?
What agents are looking for right now is more eyeballs on their properties. And I think one thing that Homely is doing very, very well at is building a brand and brand awareness around the Homely product. And I think that the more eyeballs that they can get on their properties, which ultimately deliver more buyers to the agent, that's going to be absolutely critical into the future. The beauty of the low-cost model is that it gives an owner choice, and it gives the agent the opportunity to be on a portal, on a website that brings eyeballs to a property and at a respectable price that is delivering value to the agent. And that's what Homely is all about. And that's what Homely is all about, delivering value to the agent and the seller.
Awesome. Mate, that's great. And is Easter a quiet time for you, mate? Or are you calling auctions over the weekend at all?
No, Easter will be very quiet for me. I won't be calling any auctions on Easter Saturday. I won't be calling any auctions on the Anzac Day long weekend. In fact, there probably won't be too many auctions being called once we go on the Easter break. So I'm looking forward to a nice time, certainly a few days with the kids and my wife. But I'm really busy with Realtair and auction now. So the amount of people that we've been onboarding in the last little while has been unbelievable. In fact, every single person that I've spoken to in the last 3 years about why they should be using auction now has probably called me in the last 3 weeks. So it's fielding a lot of calls, and it's obviously giving people options in conducting their online auctions.
Opportunity inside of adversity. Amazing. Hey, mate, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes, Damien. I really do appreciate your time, and mate, we enjoy your Easter and that camping trip with the family.
Thanks, Dave.
Cheers.